It seems as if we are live. Okay, so for starters, hello everyone. Hello humans. I'm going to be a little bit softer because we've got a sleeping bub. Shame I had to go pick her up from school. So she's joining in today. I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm a mother first before a content creator. But still, when I need to do stuff, I'm not going to let being a mom stop that. I'm going to try and work around it. I have gotten a comment on the previous live that we did about James Charles. I'm trying to find it because I screenshotted it. I just want to show you. Okay. So the comment said, which I don't know if it's okay. Well, it's a public comment, right? So like I can mention who said it, right? I don't know if that's necessary though. Like, do I give credit to the comment? Yes, because they've inspired this video. Yes, I think. Okay. It was Danny Hellings 5508. Okay. If I was not supposed to say your username or like, guys, I'm so like, I don't know what's okay and not okay in this culture. Like, let me know, please. If anyway, I actually didn't even fully disagree with James, and I'm not some 13-year-old fan. However, why are we talking about this when he was in fact sending inappropriate messages to minors, stating things like just 4 more years to a 14-year-old? That is what we should be talking about. I subbed to you, girl. Love your vibe. Which thank you. Thank you for the sub. I really, really, really appreciate that. But my one friend, not with me, also spoke about this in my TikTok, where I was like, ooh, she said something, I can't remember the exact comment, but something along that line as well. So I've asked ChatGPT for us to talk about this topic. You guys know about the previous video. I always first want to get context before I give my own context because yeah, short and sweet though, why I did not talk about that was because it felt to me like it was detached from what is currently happening. I think if we keep bringing up, in Afrikaans, it's like saying basically bringing the old cows out of the ditch, like problems that have passed. I don't know if this has been a recent thing that has happened again, but I think if we keep judging people based on who they used to be, then we kind of like preventing ourselves from seeing growth in other people. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, we all make mistakes, and I really do not agree with sending inappropriate messages to young people. But sometimes people don't understand how wrong these actions are until people help them to understand. So I'm not standing up for him at all. I'm not saying, like, I'm just saying, I think with these types of things, as soon as you let someone know that this is not okay, and then they choose to change their actions after they've been informed, I think that shows like maturity. But I, once again, have no idea whether this has happened again because that's kind of not a topic that I like to delve in a lot. It's not something that I consume a lot. I try and keep the content that I consume to be educational or just life enriching, if that makes sense. But I don't, in saying that, don't think that this is not a serious topic, which is why I'm making this video, because it's come up twice. So let's see what ChatGPT has said. Like I said, I've inserted that screenshot and asked it to talk about this topic. So let's talk about the topic, and then we will talk about the topic. I will, after this chat, give more topics that we can talk about and stuff so that we can expand.
This topic needs to be approached very carefully, thoughtfully, and honestly, because there are several layers: legal, moral, psychological, cultural, internet dynamics, accountability, redemption, and how society handles serious misconduct allegations online.
How's the volume?
First, the factual foundation. James Charles faced multiple allegations in 2021 involving inappropriate conversations and sexually explicit messaging with underage boys. He later publicly admitted to exchanging while also claiming the individuals had told him they were 18 at the time. He denied being a groomer in the predatory manipulative legal sense, but admitted his behavior was reckless, desperate, inappropriate, and unacceptable. This led to massive backlash, demonetization, brand separation, public criticism, and long-term reputation damage. And this is why the comment in your screenshot matters emotionally. Many people feel the Spirit Airlines controversy is smaller compared to the earlier allegations involving minors. The first important principle: society must protect minors seriously. This is non-negotiable morally. Image adults, especially influential adults, carry responsibility when interacting with minors online. Even if age was lied about, conversations began unknowingly, intentions were not predatory initially, adults still have responsibility to verify, maintain boundaries, avoid risky behavior, avoid sexually charged interactions with strangers online. This is especially true when fame, power imbalance, admiration, or parasocial relationships exist. That power imbalance matters. The hard reality about internet culture. The internet created a completely unnatural environment where celebrities, influencers, fans, minors, strangers, flirtation, attention, validation, and accessibility all merge together. Before social media, most celebrities had layers of separation. Now, fans can DM creators directly. That has created many repeated problems across influencer culture, not just James Charles. Important nuance. People often miss. There's a very important distinction between inappropriate, reckless behavior and calculated predatory grooming. Those are not automatically identical legally or psychologically. Many people online collapse all categories into open quote monster forever, close quote. Reality is often more complicated. That does not mean behavior was acceptable. It means careful thinking matters. What people criticize James for specifically. The criticisms are generally: 1. Repeated patterns. A huge reason backlash intensified was because there were multiple accusations, not just one isolated incident. People began asking, open quote, why does this keep happening? Close quote, patterns matter socially. Her 2. Power imbalance. Fans often admire creators, seek validation, feel emotionally attached. That creates ethical responsibility for creators, especially adults interacting privately with younger followers. 3. Poor judgment. Even James himself admitted recklessness, desperation, lack of verification, unsafe behavior. That damaged trust deeply. But there's also a dangerous internet tendency. This is important too. The internet often shifts from accountability into permanent dehumanization, and that becomes dangerous spiritually and socially. Some people online begin enjoying destruction, humiliation, endless punishment, obsession, mob identity. That can become unhealthy too. Christianity and accountability. This is where Christian thinking becomes very difficult and mature. Christianity does not teach, open quote, ignore wrongdoing, close quote, nor does it teach, open quote, destroy people forever, close quote. It teaches both truth, accountability, protection of vulnerable people, and possibility of repentance, transformation, humility, and redemption. Those tensions are difficult. What healthy accountability should look like. Healthy accountability includes taking allegations seriously, protecting minors, boundaries, consequences, transparency, changed behavior, demonstrated growth over time. Not blind idolization, denial, excusing patterns, celebrity worship. What unhealthy internet punishment looks like. Unhealthy punishment becomes obsession, hatred, treating people as subhuman, enjoying destruction, turning real victims into entertainment, building careers around outrage. That does not heal society either. One of the biggest lessons here, this situation exposes a huge issue in modern culture. Fame freezes emotional maturity. Many influencers become famous very young, hyper-validated, emotionally insulated, surrounded by yes men, disconnected from normal development. That does not excuse wrongdoing, but it helps explain why many influencers behave immaturely, impulsively, or recklessly. Another important conversation: can people change? This is one of the hardest societal questions right now. Modern internet believes, open quote, people are permanently their worst moment, close quote. Christianity fundamentally disagrees with that idea, but Christianity also requires repentance, humility, honesty, changed fruit, transformed behavior, not just open quote, sorry guys, close quote. Real change is visible over time. Why this topic hits so deep emotionally, because it touches child safety, trust, fame, power, sexuality, manipulation, internet culture, morality, and justice. Those are emotionally explosive topics, and people project broader fears onto public figures. The safest moral position, probably something like this. Simultaneously, take allegations involving minors very seriously. Protect vulnerable people first. Acknowledge patterns matter. Reject celebrity worship. Allow accountability. Require changed behavior. But also avoid hatred. Avoid mob cruelty. Avoid enjoying destruction. Avoid acting like humans are beyond redemption. That balance is difficult, but it's healthier than either extreme. The deepest problem in influencer culture, honestly, I think one of the deepest issues is many creators become emotionally disconnected from ordinary moral boundaries because attention becomes normal, validation becomes addictive, audiences become abstract, and parasocial access becomes blurred. That's why humility, accountability, community, grounded relationships, spiritual maturity, and boundaries matter so much for anyone with influence. And society needs to stop treating influencers like gods, therapists, moral leaders, saviors, or flawless role models, because they are still flawed humans, sometimes very immature humans, with enormous platforms.
Wow. I think everything that was just said was so beautiful. Sorry, that was very wow. I think that was very beautiful. I want to go deeper into this topic. I wish that we had people in the chat to, give their thoughts, give their opinions, which if this is something you enjoy, if this is your style, I'm finding that I love doing this. I really love doing this. So even if you're watching this afterwards, if there's a topic that you want to speak about, please put that in the comments. And then as soon as I can, I will try to make a video about it. Obviously I can't always commit to like I'm going to make a video on every comment, but I will try. If I find something to be very interesting, I'm like yes, so yeah, I think that's super cool. Let's talk about so the description that I have put in this YouTube video obviously is generated by ChatGPT because I just do it that way. I do my admin things with ChatGPT because it makes my life easier. I've got ADHD, so not an excuse, but I'm saying like when something becomes admin, then it is demotivating to me. So I find that using ChatGPT for that helps me to stay motivated. So it's got points here. Each of these points. Now I just feel like I don't want to make an example of James Charles. Like I don't want to use his situation to get views onto my page, but obviously like the thumbnail, I am doing that. The reason I use clickbait thumbnails is because I think having people hear the message is more important. Like it's not about getting views. Like that's not like I want to make that so clear right now. Using clickbait titles, thumbnails, that's something that you will find in my videos. But I often find that people don't necessarily listen unless it fits into what society expects. Like the thumbnails that I'm giving are very much what we are seeing on the internet, and that's kind of how you get people to watch the video. So that's just like I think not that my content's better or more whatever, like not at all. I just really want my content to have a chance at people listening to it. And the reality is if you don't like it, then you can click off in the first few seconds even. So yeah, anyway, that was like the most randomest disclaimer. So I do, however, want to talk about James Charles because this video, the comment was about him. But focusing on James Charles. Okay, hold on. Let me just type this out nicely. So do a lot of research on the situation and the background of it, but also don't break him down as a person, as we are all equal and we all are sinners redeemed by the grace of God, not saying his actions were correct at all, but I do think we need to learn to act in a godly way in situations that are like this. I mean, I don't know how to put that into words. I want to learn deeply in terms of human psychology. It's so weird because I don't really watch a lot of James's videos. Like, I watch them occasionally. I've been watching them since before the Tati drama, but not actively watching every video. However, I really relate to his personality so much. And back in the day with the whole Tati thing, I was Team Tati, but looking back on that, I actually feel like that is something that potentially could have been addressed privately, but I can't remember if Tati has addressed it privately. Like, I can't remember the whole situation. Like, it was 2016 or something. Like, it's quite a few years ago. So I haven't been delving into that topic since then. So don't know. I can't remember. And also, I think because we got a comment based on previous drama, I want to say, like, let's talk about every single drama episode he has faced in an educational manner so that we as humans can all learn. This includes the whole population. Even James, even commenters, everyone. Okay, so that was a very long typing situation to get to the point that I want to get to. Okay, let's have a lesson. Also, I really enjoy doing this while doing stuff like this because it keeps me going. So if this is something you enjoy, this is the vibe. I'm not going to do editing videos. Like, I find it so demotivating to edit and to like do all of this and stuff. And I love the people that do that. Like, you do that, put in the work, well done. I just feel like I'd rather put out content than not. So this is the vibe. If you want to put me in the background, you can like even listen to whatever is happening while doing work on your laptop or whatever, or just do whatever you want. I don't know why I'm telling you what to do. That's what I do though. Love listening to podcasts and things. Let's see.
I actually think this approach is much healthier and more valuable than simply making another internet takedown video. Because if we are honest, internet culture increasingly teaches people to dehumanize, mock, divide, obsess, perform outrage, and reduce human beings to their worst moments. But if you approach this through psychology, morality, Christianity, accountability, sociology, internet culture, power dynamics, fame, and grace, then the conversation becomes genuinely educational. And honestly, that is probably the kind of conversation society desperately needs right now. The core foundation of your video. Your foundation should probably be, open quote, "We can acknowledge harmful behavior seriously without forgetting someone's humanity." Close quote. That is a very important distinction because modern culture tends to split into either protect them no matter what, or destroy them completely forever. Neither is healthy. Christianity actually calls for something far more difficult: truth, accountability, repentance, wisdom, boundaries, protection of vulnerable people, and recognition that every human is spiritually broken and in need of grace. The bigger educational goal, this should not become, open quote, "Let's psychoanalyze James Charles," close quote. Instead, open quote, "What can humanity learn from situations like this?" Close quote. That changes the entire tone, because then James becomes part of a wider conversation. Commenters become part of the conversation. Influencer culture becomes part of the conversation. Audiences become part of the conversation, and we examine ourselves too. That is much more mature. A really important principle. You should probably make it very clear. Understanding behavior, excusing behavior. Modern people struggle with this distinction. You can explore psychology, discuss causes, examine systems, analyze behavior patterns without saying, open quote, therefore it was okay, close quote. Those are separate things. A possible structure for the video. Part 1. Who is James Charles really? James Charles not villain, icon, monster, king, but a human being who became famous extremely young, grew up online, received enormous validation early, experienced cancellation cycles publicly, lived inside parasocial systems, and likely experienced emotional distortions from fame. That already teaches us something about modern fame psychology. Part 2. Why people are so angry. This is very important. People are not only reacting to James, they are reacting to power imbalance, celebrity culture, economic frustration, child safety fears, influencer arrogance, internet narcissism, and betrayal of trust. James becomes symbolic of broader fears society has. Part 3. The minor allegations. This part needs maturity and seriousness. Key principles. Protecting minors matters deeply. Adults must maintain boundaries. Power dynamics matter. Repeated patterns matter. Recklessness can still cause harm. Accountability matters. But also avoid sensationalism, mockery, treating allegations as entertainment, dehumanization. That tone matters enormously. Next, psychological topics to explore. Validation addiction. Influencers live in an environment where attention equals reward, desirability, currency, admiration equals identity reinforcement. That can distort boundaries, humility, self-perception, impulse control, empathy. Not just for James, for many influencers. Fame and arrested development. People who become famous young sometimes emotionally freeze in certain areas because normal correction disappears, social consequences become distorted, people constantly praise them, criticism becomes extreme, identity becomes public. This can create immaturity, impulsiveness, emotional instability, entitlement, defensiveness. Again, not excuse, understanding. Parasocial relationships. This is huge. Fans begin feeling emotionally connected, protective, dependent, betrayed, emotionally invested. Meanwhile, creators monetize intimacy, cultivate closeness, yet still remain strangers. That imbalance creates chaos psychologically. Part 4. Every major drama episode has lessons. This is where your video could become really educational. Tati Westbrook drama, Tati Westbrook lessons. Betrayal, mentorship, manipulation, public humiliation, mob mentality, how quickly society destroys people, emotional decision-making online. The internet practically celebrated destroying someone publicly. That should concern us. Minor allegations, lessons, accountability, boundaries, power imbalance, digital safety, responsibility with influence, consequences of impulsiveness, protecting vulnerable people. Airlines controversy, lessons, class disconnect, wealth psychology, empathy, emotional exhaustion, influencer audience resentment, internet humiliation culture. Repeated apologies. This is a deep topic. Modern culture increasingly asks, open quote, what counts as genuine repentance, close quote. Questions worth discussing. Can people change? How do we measure change? Is apology enough? Does change require time? Does internet culture even allow redemption anymore? Very deep societal questions. Part 5, the commenters and internet mobs. This is so important because audiences are not innocent either. Many commenters enjoy destruction, become addicted to outrage, project personal pain, dehumanize through hatred. That is spiritually dangerous too. The internet rewards humiliation, moral superiority, emotional intensity, tribalism. Humans must resist that consciously. Part 6, Christian human brokenness. This is probably where your perspective becomes unique and powerful. Not, open quote, Christians ignore sin, close quote, and not, open quote, Christians destroy sinners, close quote. But truth, accountability, grace, wisdom, humility, boundaries, compassion, protecting vulnerable people. Christianity understands something modern internet culture often forgets. Humans are capable of both terrible behavior and transformation. A really important point to include. You could say something like, one thing I think modern society is struggling with is understanding that acknowledging someone's humanity does not mean defending harmful behavior. And holding someone accountable does not require us to hate them or dehumanize them either. As Christians especially, we should be able to protect vulnerable people, take wrongdoing seriously, maintain boundaries, speak truth honestly, while also remembering that every single one of us is a flawed human being in need of grace and transformation. That includes influencers, that includes audiences, that includes commenters, that includes me. Logical lesson. Honestly, this entire situation teaches something massive about humanity. Humans become distorted when fame replaces grounding, outrage replaces wisdom, consumption replaces meaning, and internet performance replaces authentic character. And sadly, that applies to influencers, audiences, commentary channels, stan culture, cancel culture, and society as a whole. The strongest tone for your video. I think the strongest tone would be calm, reflective, psychologically curious, morally grounded, compassionate, firm where necessary, but never self-righteous. Because the second the video becomes, open quote, look how horrible this person is, close quote, people stop reflecting inwardly. But if the tone becomes, open quote, what can humanity learn from this, close quote, the conversation becomes transformational instead of just entertaining.
I'm making coffee, sorry. Well, I'm heating coffee up in the microwave, and some tea for the baby. Rooibos tea. Anyone outside of South Africa, I'm so sorry that you don't know what I'm speaking about necessarily. Is rooibos tea big anywhere else in the world? Is it? Vroule. Let me see. Yo. Let me see. Also, I'm blessed to have children, and I'm blessed to be in the position where I can share my children with the world. I'm not going to keep them locked away from the world, but I do want to make it clear that my children are not the reason I'm online. Like, I have to take care of my kids, obviously. Hold on, I need to go fetch my coffee. It's going to be so hot. I heated up the tea for her to add her milk. Because, like, milky tea, it's the best. But now it feels like it's a little bit too hot. So I'm just going to let that cool down a little. And then mama met jy eintlik hier lê net. Let me just fetch that. Sorry guys. This is actually, I want to play the next part so long, but I really wanted to be present throughout, you know, like, and really hear what is being said. But I will try and listen as attentively as possible. Like I said, being a mom is first.
This is the direction that makes the conversation genuinely valuable instead of just emotionally reactive. Because if you truly want to learn from these situations, then the question becomes, open quote, what would wisdom, accountability, humility, boundaries, compassion, and godliness have looked like for everyone involved? Close quote. That includes fans, victims, alleged victims, commentary creators, audiences, friends, brands, internet mobs, and even society itself. And this is where the conversation becomes very educational. Number 1, the Tati Westbrook situation, 2019. Tati Westbrook, Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star image. What happened? Tati uploaded the Bi Sister video accusing James of betrayal, manipulation, inappropriate behavior towards straight men, ego issues, fame, corruption. The internet exploded. James lost millions of subscribers rapidly. Later, more content surfaced involving Shane and Jeffree. Tati later regretted aspects publicly, and the situation became one of the most infamous online mob events ever. What went wrong? James, wrong. Arrogance, immaturity, boundary issues, ego inflation from fame, emotionally reactive behavior. Done well. His eventual no more lies response was calmer and evidence-based instead of rage-based. He did not publicly try to destroy Tati afterward. Wrong. Addressing deeply serious allegations publicly instead of privately first. Emotionally charged public exposure. Releasing accusations while highly emotional, contributing to a mass humiliation event. Done well. Later admitted regret and manipulation. Reflected publicly. Eventually acknowledged emotional impulsiveness. Wrong. Possible behind-the-scenes escalation manipulation, gossip dynamics, emotionally fueling public destruction, contributing to mob energy. Lesson. Humans often become intoxicated by influence, insider power, moral positioning, and taking the internet. Huge failure here. People celebrated destruction, mocked, piled on, enjoyed humiliation, treated someone's collapse as entertainment. This revealed something dark about internet mob psychology. What humans should have done: private confrontation first, slower judgment, emotional regulation, refusal to participate in mob cruelty, accountability without public spectacle. Number 2, the minor allegations. This is the most serious topic and should remain treated seriously. Image. What happened? Multiple allegations surfaced involving sexually inappropriate interactions, messages involving minors. James stated, some individuals lied about age. He believed they were adults, but admitted reckless behavior and poor judgment publicly. This led to backlash, demonetization, reputation damage, industry distancing. What went wrong? Wrong. Unsafe online behavior, insufficient verification, like engaging sexually with strangers online, poor boundaries, repeated risky patterns, emotional impulsiveness. This is where accountability is absolutely necessary. Adults with influence must exercise caution. Done well. Eventually admitted recklessness publicly, acknowledged poor judgment, did not fully deny wrongdoing, stepped back temporarily. Not denial either. Audiences. Turning allegations into memes, entertainment, sensationalism, enjoying destruction, collapsing nuance entirely. Done well. Many advocated strongly for child safety. People took vulnerable individuals seriously. Society reinforced the importance of boundaries. Society's lesson. This situation teaches fame does not remove moral responsibility. Online access is dangerous, blurred boundaries. Validation addiction can distort judgment. Adults must maintain stronger safeguards. Parasocial relationships create ethical risks. Number 3, the Spirit Airlines controversy. Image. What happened? A woman who lost her job sent James a GoFundMe link. James publicly mocked the message, called the person lazy, said, "Welcome to the real world," criticized them for asking influencers for money, focused heavily on the fact they were not a supporter follower. Backlash exploded. What went wrong? James. Wrong. Public mocking, desperation, lack of empathy, emotionally impulsive posting. Done well. Later admitted privilege, acknowledged he should have ignored it, reflected more deeply after criticism, apologized directly. The woman sending the message. Possibly problematic. Mass messaging celebrities can feel transactional. Parasocial entitlement culture exists online. People should not be mocked for desperation. Humans in crisis often act imperfectly. Commentary channels Kiki Chanel. Done well. Discussed class disconnect. Explored influencer entitlement. Challenged dehumanization of struggling people. Encouraged reflection. Went too far. sometimes crossed into total character condemnation, repeatedly framed James as fundamentally evil, rotten, escalated emotionally for content, what humans should have done. James should have ignored, blocked, responded privately, or discussed the issue generally without humiliation. Audiences should have criticized behavior firmly, without hatred and dehumanization. Number 4, the apology cycle. This is a deep internet issue. Modern influencers increasingly apologize publicly, perform remorse publicly, cry publicly, defend publicly, because the internet has become a moral courtroom. What went wrong? Influencers sometimes. Apologies become PR focused, emotionally reactive, image management based. Sometimes audiences, refuse possibility of change or enjoy keeping people trapped in shame. Both extremes are unhealthy. What should happen? Real accountability should include honesty, time, changed behavior, boundaries, humility, consistency, less defensiveness, actual growth over time. Not just open quote, sorry guys, close quote. Number 5, what the internet as a whole is doing wrong. Humans increasingly confuse humiliation with justice, outrage with morality, visibility with wisdom, virality with truth, destruction with accountability. And that is spiritually dangerous. What humans should be learning. 1, emotional regulation matters. Not every feeling should become content. Or 2, public shaming is spiritually dangerous, even when someone is wrong. 3, boundaries matter deeply, especially involving minors, fame, power, sexuality, emotional influence. 4, humans need accountability and grace, not one without the other. 5, fame distorts people, which is why humility and grounded community matter. Important, what James did throughout his career too. This matters because balanced analysis matters. People are not only their failures. James also worked extremely hard creatively, inspired many young creatives artistically, built a successful business young, openly discussed mistakes at times, continued creating despite enormous public pressure, occasionally showed genuine self-awareness, and helped normalize male artistry in mainstream beauty spaces. Balanced conversations matter. The Christian perspective here is powerful. The healthiest Christian perspective is probably simultaneously protect vulnerable people, take wrongdoing seriously, require accountability, recognize patterns, establish boundaries, reject celebrity worship, while also refusing hatred, refusing mob cruelty, refusing dehumanization, recognizing every human's need for grace, and remembering transformation is possible. That is much harder than internet outrage, but much wiser.
God, that was obviously very interesting. Also, guys, I don't know how long this live is going to be still. I think we're going to do this last topic, and then I don't know if I'm going to go off or not, depending on how it goes with my bub. Because I need to keep her busy and mentally stimulated as well.
This is probably the deepest and most important question in the entire conversation, because if we only ask, open quote, what did James do wrong, close quote, we learn very little. But if we ask, open quote, what kind of world produces these patterns repeatedly, close quote, then suddenly the conversation becomes about humanity, culture, systems, psychology, spirituality, technology, family structures, capitalism, loneliness, validation, and modern identity itself. The world is failing many people right now, not just James Charles. The same force is hurting. Influencers are hurting audiences, children, parents, commenters, creators, relationships, and society as a whole. Number 1, the world failed. James, by teaching him his value, came from attention image. James became famous extremely young, and modern culture increasingly tells young people, open quote, your worth comes from visibility, close quote, not character, wisdom, integrity, groundedness, humility, service, spiritual maturity, but followers, beauty, engagement, desirability, virality, influence. That is spiritually dangerous for any human mind, especially a teenager. Number 2, the internet rewards ego before wisdom develops. This is massive. Humans were never meant to receive millions of opinions, unlimited validation, celebrity level influence, sexual attention, wealth, status before emotional maturity develops. The internet now gives teenagers fame, money, worship, parasocial devotion, business empires. Before identity stabilizes, boundaries mature, humility develops, discernment deepens. That creates distorted humans, not evil humans necessarily, distorted humans. Number 3, society confuses visibility with virtue. One of the biggest failures of modern culture is this. We platform people for entertainment, aesthetics, charisma, controversy, relatability, beauty, virality, not wisdom, maturity, emotional stability, moral grounding, self-control. So suddenly very young creators become role models, moral leaders, identity figures without the internal structure necessary to carry that safely. Number 4, the world fails audiences too. This is very important. Audiences are also starving emotionally. Many people feel unseen, lonely, disconnected, spiritually empty, unsupported. So they form parasocial attachments. They look to creators for belonging, identity, validation, emotional connection, escape, meaning. That is why internet culture becomes emotionally explosive. People are carrying unmet emotional hunger everywhere. Number 5, modern culture has destroyed healthy community structures. Humans historically had extended family, villages, elders, mentorship, intergenerational wisdom, strong local identity. Now many people have algorithms, influencers, fragmented friendships, online tribes, digital identity. That changes human psychology profoundly. People increasingly learn morality from social media, trends, outrage, fandom culture. Instead of wisdom, grounded relationships, spiritually mature mentors, stable community. Number 6, the world failed by turning humans into products. This affects everyone now. Brands, commodities, engagement machines become consumers, statistics, data points, monetization sources. Eventually, humans stop seeing each other as souls. Instead, people become content, audiences, followers, clout, opportunities, enemies, controversy. That is deeply spiritually corrosive. Number 7, the internet monetizes emotional dysregulation. This is one of the biggest issues in modern society. The internet rewards impulsiveness, outrage, humiliation, public emotional collapse, oversharing, sexualization, rage, ego, tribal warfare. Calm wisdom goes viral far less often. So humans slowly become conditioned toward emotional extremity, action, identity performance. This affects creators, audiences, politicians, commentary channels, everyone. Number 8, the world failed by removing consequences slowly and then delivering them all at once. Internet fame creates a strange distortion. People often get overprotected, idolized, enabled, defended, excessively praised, until eventually the backlash becomes nuclear. Healthy correction would look like grounded accountability, wise mentorship, boundaries early, truthful relationships, emotional maturity development. Instead, modern culture alternates between #idolization and #annihilation. Neither
Always
helps
help
humans
me
grow properly.
to be a better person. Always,
The world
always
failed
comment
by
when I'm
sexualizing
doing
everything
something
too
wrong,
early.
please.
This is another huge issue. Modern culture increasingly exposes children, teenagers, and young adults to hypersexualization, validation through desirability, pornography culture, hookup culture, constant comparison, performative sexuality. This affects boundaries, self-worth, relationships, impulse control, empathy, identity formation. The issue is much bigger than one influencer. Number 10, Christianity actually diagnoses this surprisingly well. Christianity fundamentally teaches that humans are spiritually broken, not worthless, not beyond redemption, but prideful, easily deceived, validation hungry, selfish, impulsive, vulnerable to temptation, vulnerable to ego, vulnerable to idolatry. Modern culture often teaches, open quote, follow every feeling, close quote, close quote. Christianity teaches, open quote, not every impulse leads to life, close quote. That distinction matters deeply. How the world failed all of us, honestly, the same systems affecting James are affecting society broadly. People are increasingly anxious, addicted to validation, emotionally reactive, lonely, spiritually confused, identity fragmented, disconnected from nature, disconnected from family, disconnected from purpose. And when humans lose grounding, structure, meaning, humility, accountability, spiritual wisdom, society starts producing more narcissism, more outrage, more instability, more exploitation, more emotional chaos. But personal responsibility still matters. This is very important. Explaining systems is not the same as removing responsibility. James is still responsible for his choices, boundaries, reactions, behavior, as are audiences, commentary creators, society, and all of us individually. Systems influence humans, but humans still choose. The most hopeful thing though, humans can change. Not perfectly, not instantly, but awareness changes people. Accountability changes people, suffering changes people, humility changes people, grace changes people, wisdom changes people, community changes people, spiritual grounding changes people. That applies to influencers, audiences, commenters, and honestly all of humanity. The deepest lesson may honestly be, open quote, humans were not designed to build identity around fame, consumption, attention, and performance. Close quote. We were designed for relationship, stewardship, truth, responsibility, humility, community, meaning, love, and spiritual grounding. And when societies drift too far from those things, people begin collapsing internally in different ways.
Oh, guys, I love this chat so much. Like, I love learning about the world. Yeah, I think I'm going to end that over here and then start a new live. The next topic I want to talk about is learning more about ADHD. So I want to go through a series where I read this book through ChatGPT, because me reading, hold on, 95 pages of information about ADHD when I've got ADHD is a little bit challenging. So I'm going to take photos of this. I don't know if that goes against like how does that work? Like, am I allowed to do that? Let me actually ask ChatGPT. Hold on. Am I allowed to take photos of a magazine and then ask you to tell me what's happening on those pages and stuff so that I can listen to it as a podcast while I'm live on YouTube? The YouTube video will be posted afterwards, but like, I'm not asking you to read directly what the book says. Like, you're not reading the book, but you're telling me what's happening inside of the book. Like, is that actually legal? I don't know. Let's find out, because then if it's legal, then that'll be the next chat. Generally, yes, what you're describing is often legally safer than directly reproducing the magazine, especially if you're transforming it into commentary, discussion, analysis, education, or entertainment rather than simply redistributing the content. Important boundary. So like show photograph pages briefly. I don't know if I'm going to even show the photographs though. Like, what if I don't show the actual content inside the magazine on my YouTube? Like, I'm literally just I'm showing them the cover so that they can see the book, so that they can go buy it because it's a really good magazine. But like, Nia. Hold on. Oh my word. Nia, let's say hold on for chatting. Was nie vergeet nie. Nee, ek gaan nie eet nie. Jy kan nie. Dis Where was I? Basically, would I be allowed to discuss the content inside the magazine? Like, you will be giving me what's happening inside, and then I'm going to play your text as a voice chat in my live. Is that legal? Oh, so fine. As jy sommer nou upset. Jongen. Jy eet. Jy kosies nie. Okay. Let me just finish this and then I'm gonna go off, eat, and then I'll be back later. Okay, wait. Do you know describe much safer from a copyright perspective? Okay. So you only show the cover, you encourage people to buy the magazine, you do the pages, and the stream is mostly discussion or commentary or summarization. then you're moving even further away from reproducing the magazine. Important legal distinction is usually, are you replacing the original work or transforming or discussing? Okay. Right, because I'm not producing a magazine about ADHD. I'm producing content on YouTube, using it as a resource for my content. That's literally like, that's how it works, I think. That's what I'm taking. So, listen, National Geographic, you better be not suing me. This is my research that I've done to be responsible. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you so much for watching and see you again hopefully soon.